गुड इवनिंग एंड वेलकम टू गन शॉट। गन शॉट में आप सबका स्वागत है। इंडिया इज चेंजिंग, द वर्ल्ड नीड्स टू कैच अप एंड आई मीन इट। For the past 24 hours, ever since the air crash at Dubai, a lot of analysis is taking place. A lot of my heartfelt condolences to Namansh, who's lost his life on the line of duty. God bless his soul, and may his, you know, and deepest condolences to his family. Sad incident. But I'm not too sure if that's a failure. It's not in fact, I'm very sure it's not a failure. The fact that for the first time, Indian aircraft has debuted at an international air show is of more significance than the fact that it crashed. It's okay. An accident always happens in life. So what if you pick up and fly again? That's it. That's the Air Force motto which I've seen throughout my life, Indian Air Force motto. And we'll do it again. I'm not bothered. Yeah, of course, there will be an inquiry. Something will come out of it and things will be set right. But वो कौन सा घुड़सवार है जो कभी गिरता नहीं? ठीक है, there's no problem. I mean, we will look ahead. But today my talk is about something completely in line with what's happening. I've been speaking of it, India on the move. India's rise is unstoppable. And we're changing the world. Probably in the morning, I wouldn't have spoken of it. But for the fact that I came across this article by John Spencer, The End of Old Assumptions, what India's new security paradigm actually looks like. Now, this man, Colonel John Spencer, is from the infantry school in USA. He writes on the Small Wars Journal, and he spoke a lot during Op Sindur. And I thought he spoke very sensibly and analytically. He was here in India after that. A lot of people spoke to him and all that. Fine. And I said this last week. I was quite disappointed that not many people in India, and not in India, abroad, have analyzed Op Sindur in its entirety. The talk of Op Sindur has been in its, the fact that whether we've lost 6 or 7 Rafales. But that's not an operation. This operation of 88 hours meant something. And I'll get to it. I'll get to it in my way. But part of my way is what John Spencer has written. And he's written this article today. And what does he say in this article? He says, there is a change in India. And it's been 9 months since Op Sindur. He doesn't talk of Op Sindur. Op Sindur is only a marker in our journey. Right? He said, look, India has realized that limited and predictable retaliation did not deter cross-border terrorism from happening from Pakistan. He didn't mention Pakistan, but we know I'm talking of Pakistan. India had a policy of restraint, strategic restraint. And that strategic restraint was once supposed to be a stabilizing force locally and internationally. That had become strategically dangerous because it had lost value. And Pakistan felt that strategic restraint will be India's normal way of respond. Oh, kuch ho gaya, strategic restraint will not do anything more. And we also had this strange belief that terrorism could be controlled or terrorism could be contained below interstate conflict. If you hold it below interstate conflict, or that is between India and Pakistan, terrorism can be contained. That theory has collapsed. Oh, we can control terrorism by other means. No, there are no other means. You know where the fount of terrorism is. Hit that. Important. Then he says, after observing the planning, execution, and aftermath of Op Sindoor, the conclusion is clear. India has crossed the doctrinal threshold. Actually, we have reached a new threshold. The things have changed. It's no longer a state that responds to terrorism with calibrated warnings or waits for international partners to validate its success or choices. He says choices, I talk success. We don't need endorsement of USA, China, and all that. We have sorted out Pakistan. We don't want to calibrate our operation based on their edicts. This has happened. We are no more a state that waits for international partners, international opinion to validate our choices and say go ahead or don't go ahead. That's gone. We will do what is in our best interest. And he says India is building a new operating logic rooted in coercive clarity and willingness to act first when its citizens are threatened. We are willing to act. Even in the Delhi blast, we are willing to act. Whether we should act or not is a different story. That's a different story whether we should go in for a war or a war by other means or a hybrid war or a gray zone operations. That doctrinal threshold is crossed. We use our own new threshold. This shift had happened. It's just that people probably didn't guess it. And Op Sindoor did not create this shift. It just showed the world that the shift has happened. And this is what New India is all about. As per perceptions all over, strategic restraint was designed to prevent escalation with Pakistan. Restraint, let's not escalate, hey, go. But today's strategic restraint does the opposite. We did exactly the opposite in Obstinate. There's no doubt about it. And should we do it again? If the situation demands, we should. The only caveat I'll ask, be careful of the political outcomes. Don't worry too much. There's a limit we need to improve our strategic communication. There's no doubt about it. But that's a different argument. He says, when we treat major acts of terror as acts of war, we have changed the strategic restraint framework into a doctrine of compellence. Our doctrine is compellence. Compel that enemy to change his behavior. And this compellence will occur. And this compellence has started already with Pakistan, China, and Bangladesh. And I'll talk of it. These are three major problem areas for us. Politico-military problems, the rest are far away. The rest are all other types. And then in this article, he says, the government of India no longer waits for lengthy attribution cycles. Oh, kiya, na kiya, nothing. Delhi blast, we know. We'll do something. We know that whole story is from Pakistan. Pakistan is already on a notice. What we do with Pakistan is our internal thing. Or we don't have to wait for international pressure. The day we convince that, look, Pakistan is the thing and this is the payoff we are going to do, we should go ahead with Pakistan. We will. No matter what that fool Asim Munir says. It's a different thing how we do it. That's the matter of opinion. Today, for us, preemption is considered a sovereign right. And you see our army commanders or chiefs or defense minister, they're talking of it. They're talking of the fact Pakistan, try something and we'll show you. It's no more, no, no, we don't, yeah, we are worried about your nuclear status and all. Nuclear status be damned. Let's see you try. Let Asim Munir try and he'll get it. Right? Now, he again clarifies in this. This is something like a post operation analysis. Says during Op Sindoor, India struck deep, right? And early using, we struck deep and early using long range fires, drone swarms, loitering ammunition, and real time fused intelligence. Right? He's got the whole thing. The bigger thing matters. Look, day before I showed you that clip of 6th December 1971, where Pakistan claimed that it had shot down 49 aircraft, Indian aircraft. And yet it lost the war. Same thing here. They claim they've shot down 7 Rafales without any evidence. And they claim they win the war. And they've lost the war actually. They've lost it badly. Right? And because we used all this, we used long range fire, which they never expected in their dreams, loitering ammunition, and most importantly, fused intelligence. Now that bloody Asim Munir can keep barking like a dog, it doesn't matter me. On that day, he went into a bunker. On night 9th, 10th May, he was deep inside a bunker, hiding. India's deterrent is now a pattern. India's deterrence is now a pattern. Okay. And of course, he says this Op Sindoor broke the age old template and it has signaled a permanent change. Very powerful. This is permanent, it is irreversible. And our deterrence is now a pattern based rather than event based. This, established a deterrence pattern. It's not event related. They know our deterrence capabilities, Pakistan. You will get it. That's what he writes. Intent matters as much as proof. The intent to do is more important. That Pakistan has realized. Not only Pakistan, China has also realized, and something is happening against Bangladesh. Now, there are public expectations which have come to the fore. They help shape policy, they drive politics. Citizens expect retaliation rather than investigation. Investigation we've done for the past 70 years. Enough. We want retaliation. And that retaliation can be in any form, hybrid, gray, direct, kinetic, non kinetic, anything. If that retaliation is nuclear, so be it. Am I being hawkish? I am. People in Pakistan should know the nuclear card is a game two people can play very well. And the political reality of this whole India Pakistan situation and within India, it leaves very little space for restraint anymore. National strategy is of national interest. Your national strategy is based on your national interest. And the national interest is based on the national sentiment and people's requirements. So people will shape the strategy. The military executes it. That's what John Spencer has said, and that is very important. We have to understand this. We have to understand the change. There is yet another facet which is brought. He says, look, during the 2025 ceasefire discussions with Pakistan, Delhi rejected all external mediation. We don't want anyone to mediate. We will handle it. Trump can keep saying what he wants. He'll say till the cows come home. There's no negotiation on this. There's not a negotiating tactic. We had put a new doctrine to the world. We will deal with Pakistan. We will deal with China. We don't want mediation. Trump has said many times, I'll mediate. We've told him, Bhaiya, aap wahi raho. We don't need you. And we treat any crisis with Pakistan as regional and internal to the situation here. It's not an international situation. It's regionally internal. Even China can keep out. If China wants to help, so be it. Then we'll handle China also. Our approach to treaties has also changed. That's what he says. India's approach to treaties has changed as well. The suspension of the India's water treaty, a 1960 agreement that divided the rivers of Indus Basin and survived multiple wars, marked the first deliberate use of a resource sharing strategy as coercive leverage in South Asia. We've changed the goalpost. And Pakistan, if it has not known till now, better know it. Right? And this shift is echoed by what our Prime Minister says. Blood and water cannot flow together. It's no more just saying, we will do it. And that's what John Spencer says. And I agree with him. For years together, such arrangements like a Shimla Trade Agreement or the Indus Water Treaty, they were all supposed to be stabilizing factors between India and China. And they were meant to insulate both countries from conflict. These two documents, basically these two and others also, were levers used by foreign powers to ensure that conflict doesn't happen. No more. We don't accept that anymore. Why is this important, this change which John Spencer is saying? It takes someone else to analyze what we are doing. And I'm sure with this, a lot of people will listen to what we have done or understand what India is up to. What is the new India? We don't accept old premises. We'll lay down the new. Right? Water, airspace, and border management agreements now survive only if they reinforce our security narrative. If it suits us, if it's in our interest, we adhere to the treaty. Otherwise, thank you. Pakistan can go wherever it wants, international arbitration, outer space arbitration, and all for the Indus Water Treaty, we will not budge. We've already said that. We've already told Mr. Trump, you take a walk, you don't get a Nobel Prize, we'll give you a Nobel Prize if you want, but not on the India-Pakistan story. And stop talking that you brought peace about. Even in nuclear, no first use policy, that's our official thing. But we have brought in ambiguity. Our ambiguity has been brought in by missile systems, which we have made. A plethora of missile systems have been deployed. We've got MIRV, we've got Agni, we've got a whole lot of things. Right? If the threat environment has changed, so has our response environment. Once upon a time, John Spencer says that, look, India used to talk of assured retaliation. That you do something, India will retaliate. It's no more now. Today we are talking of assured punishment. We showed it in Op Sindhu. Punishment is assured. So any adversary should think 10 times before he does anything because punishment is assured. It is, and it will be compellence. You change your behavior. Pakistan has to change its behavior, no choice. And we also redefined our counter-terrorism doctrine. That's an important thing which John Spencer points out. He says state proxies or proxy groups of other states are treated as instruments of state policy. The deniability which Pakistan used to enforce by saying, oh, this is their indigenous homegrown terror or indigenous freedom struggle. No more. If there's anything happening in J&K, we know your track record. Whether you deny or not, we are getting after you. We might do it at the time and place of our choosing, but we'll do it. I mean, don't be clear. Let me be very clear. You think Delhi terror blast will be let away? No. I see our government doing something very sensible. They're doing lawfare at this point of time. And there's going to be a hybrid response. We shouldn't have a doubt about it. Okay. Zero tolerance is what he says India is practicing. Then he says, in this entire story, I mean, this is important. A final dimension is often overlooked about India. China is the silent second audience for India's choices. And I spoke of this during Ops Indoor. That China has to learn a lot of lessons from Ops Indoor. It might talk of a certain amount of lessons otherwise, but the real lessons of Ops Indoor, China has learned. China is talking today a lot about Japan. It's getting into conflict with Taiwan. Again, reigniting it. It is doing something against Philippines. Nothing in the border. And I'll talk of that. I'll talk China versus China tomorrow morning. How China destroys itself. We'll talk of it tomorrow. Right? Right. Signals meant for Pakistan carry an implied message for Beijing. Our strategic communication at one level has failed, at another level, it is doing something new. When we say we're going to hit Pakistan, China should understand why Pakistan has Chinese weapons. And he puts it in the right perspective. He says India's interception of Chinese origin PL-15 air-to-air missiles and its successful defeat of Pakistan's Chinese supplied air defense systems during Op Sindoor provided valuable intelligence on Chinese weapon designs and vulnerabilities. Very, very, very explicit. Vulnerabilities of Chinese weapons, interception, successful defeat of PL-15 and Chinese supplied air defenses. PL-15 was intercepted. I said that. Then now John Spencer says, so we have defeated Pakistan's air defense, with the government of India in a press information bureau release has said this on May 9th. And we have very clear idea of what the Chinese weapons and designs and everything. And our deterrence logic, our deterrence doctrine is built on the two-front environment in which one actions on one front have consequences in the other. What is interesting in this entire article is here is a man who said something which we have been screaming. He's put it succinctly in a short, concise article which I have now explained to you. Then, very important, he says India is transforming under fire. India is transforming under fire. Very important. India is not becoming reckless, it is becoming coherent. It is aligning doctrine, public expectations, defense industrial capacity, and geopolitical messaging around a single principle. Security must be achieved by India, not granted through outside mediation or constrained by outdated assumptions. All old stories. Thank you. Out. We are transforming, and we are transforming under fire. We are transforming through battle. That is something which he highlights. Security must be achieved by India, not granted through outside agencies, not because USA feels it fit. That's all gone. India is now taking its security in its own hands. India has written a new playbook. The world needs to catch up. That is why I got my headline. India is changing. There's a new playbook India is writing, and the world needs to catch up. World needs to understand. The importance of this whole story is the fact that someone has given a holistic idea without hyperbole, without the normal propaganda about what happened. It's not Chinese propaganda which says, oh, Pakistan had success, or the US propaganda which came through their, uh, that US congressional report. Pakistan had success over India. All nonsense. That is vague. Here, this man is highlighting each point in your doctrine, in your nuclear doctrine, in your two front confrontation, how your overall doctrine of security has changed, how you don't accept mediation. He has said this is what has happened in Sindoor. It is for everyone to wake up and see India has a new playbook. The world needs to catch up. Okay, this is John Spencer one man view. But I've given you so many views earlier, isn't it? And there's one thing about Sindoor which even John Spencer has not mentioned, and which our air chief spoke of, and you'll hear him. That is war termination. Way back in 99, I still remember, I was part of Vijay. I went for Vijay and mobilization, this, that. I still remember our Prime Minister, someone asked him, why didn't you go to war with Pakistan? And he said something very important. मैं लड़ाई शुरू तो कर लूं, पर मेरे को ये नहीं पता चल रहा कि बंद कैसे करूं, खत्म कैसे हो, पाकिस्तान के साथ ये लड़ाई खत्म कैसे करना है. War termination is as important as war commencement. And that is something which very few people have understood. You look at the Gaza conflict. You could look at the conflict in South China Sea. You look at the conflict in Russia, Ukraine. How many years it's going on? Everyone thinks that Russia-Ukraine conflict is just from February 22. That's what everyone thinks. No. This goes back to the Maidan revolutions, 2005. We're going on, it's long back. It started, it's not stopped. There's no way it's going to stop. There's no way this Gaza conflict is going to stop. Irrespective of the fact whether there's an Islamic stabilization force or an international stabilization force, nor will the South China Sea problem. It's there. The problem between India and Pakistan will continue, but this war terminated. And look at, I've given you this. Look at what A. Marshal A.P. Singh said. Hear him.
तो मेन लड़ाइयां चल रही हैं आज. वेदर इट इज रशिया यूक्रेन या फिर वो इजराइल वाली लड़ाई जो चल रही है, वो चली जा रही है, सालों साल बीत गए हैं, क्योंकि कोई कॉन्फ्लिक्ट टर्मिनेशन के बारे में नहीं सोच रहा है कि हमें एक बंद भी करना है. आई थिंक व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, जो हमारे को भी ऐसा बोला गया था कि भाई फीलिंग्स ऐसी सुनने में आई हैं और लोगों ने भी कहा है कि नहीं नहीं और थोड़ा करना चाहिए था, बहुत जल्दी हमने रोक दी लड़ाई. यस, वो बैकफुट में थे, नो डाउट, बट हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या थे? हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव एंटी टेररिज्म था, उनको स्ट्राइक करना था, वो हम कर चुके थे. तो अगर हमारे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स मीट हो चुके हैं, उसके बाद व्हाई शुड वी नॉट टर्मिनेट अ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, व्हाई शुड वी कैरी ऑन? क्योंकि कोई भी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है उसके बहुत सारा प्राइस होता है जो हमें पे करना पड़ेगा. It will affect our preparedness for the next one. It will affect our economy. It will affect the general, progress of the country. So I think this is what the world is forgetting. उनको यही नहीं पता कि हमारा टारगेट क्या था जब हमने लड़ाई शुरू करी थी. अब वो गोल पोस्ट उनका शिफ्ट होता जा रहा है. Egos are coming in between, and this is where I think world has to learn a lesson from India how to start and terminate a conflict at the earliest possible opportunity. As far as op capability is concerned, the technology played a major part. The weapons that were used were all specialist weapons, long-range weapons.
The world should know not only how to start an operation, but how to terminate it. All these superpowers, great powers, whether it's China, Russia, today everyone talks of Op Sindoor only in one line. Pakistan downed 7 Rafale, so it is a victor. Did we achieve our objectives in Op Sindoor? Yes. Terror, network, broken. So far, they've not responded in a great manner. Yeah, they'll respond in a different manner, but we'll do that. We'll sort that out. Pakistan tried something and we hammered them. So far, their capabilities have not recovered. They're not recovered. They're still there. So if you have achieved your objectives, and they say, like everyone says, Clausewitz also said, war is politics by other means. You reached your objectives, go political. We've done that. Yet, we've not closed Op Sindoor. It's on. We can reopen conflict any day we want. Op Sindoor is on. So you have your options. You terminated the active conflict. That is something which John Spencer also has left out. I'll not say, but he's written quite a bit. The world needs to understand what India has done. That's why I say the treatment and the analysis of Op Sindoor by anyone and everyone has been useless. But should we bother? No. We plow ahead. Why do you think I'm doing this? I am trying to explain to all of you India has changed, and the world needs to understand how India has changed. You need to catch up. India is going on a different track. We might have our problems. We'll have huge problems. We have huge problems of Atmanirbharta, capacities, corruption, caste, creed, politics, democracy. I can be this thing, but we have something which others don't have. We'll talk of that. I still have a lot to go.
तो मेन लड़ाई है.
It's not only military capabilities, it is non-military capabilities applied in an international environment which matter. This is Mr. Tirumurthy. He's our ambassador, permanent ambassador to the UN. He spoke recently in the premises of UN. If you this is a UN insignia. Yeah. In the International Maritime Organization seminar of something. And here what India has done in the past 2 years. And see for yourself if there is any country which has done this.
India, being in the top three maritime communities with 12% of the world's seafarers, gives immense importance to the safety, well being, and rights of seafarers who form the lifeblood of global trade and maritime stability. Madam Chair, over the last 2 years, in response to shipping attacks and rising incidents of piracy in the Western Arabian Sea, the Indian Navy has deployed over 35 ships in the region, carried out more than 1,000 boarding operations, and has responded to over 35 incidents. The credible and swift actions of the Indian Navy have saved more than 520 lives, irrespective of nationality. Since November 2023, the Indian Navy has safely escorted over 367 merchant vessels carrying over 14.7 million metric tons.
Look at what our Navy has done. 35 incidents, 367 ships, 12 million metric tons of tonnage, and it has kept the Indian Ocean region open.
Of cargo valued at over $6.3 billion. India's decisive action in the liberation of MV Ruin from Somali pirates and the rescue of crew members demonstrated India's commitment to safeguarding seafarers, irrespective of their flag and nationality. Indian seafarers serving on the Maryland Luanda showed exceptional courage in the face of a missile attack in the Gulf of Aden and were recognized with the IMO Bravery Award, while the Indian Navy received an IMO Commendation.
Indian Navy has received an IMO commendation. Which other country got it? Will be hard put to find out.
This operation. India's Information Fusion Center in the Indian Ocean region, the IFC-IOR, has strengthened real-time information exchange, while the Directorate General of Shipping, through the DG Com Center, has maintained round-the-clock crisis response cells and issued continuous advisories and coordinated with foreign maritime administrations for the safe passage of seafarers. I bring to kind attention of the Chair that IMO has added the IFC-IOR as a key reporting center in the IMO Best Management Practices Maritime Security. The next logical step is to include the IFC-IOR as the IOR's primary reporting center in the IMO Maritime Safety Committee resolution. The support of member states in this noble endeavor would be invaluable to our
Slow and steady. India is becoming the security provider in Indian Ocean region. This report says so. This is hard facts. These are hard numbers. You can't run away from it. Our Information Fusion Center in Bombay is the nerve center for everything in IOR, and people are now talking of it. The full video I have not shown. If you see the full video, you see as to what all others have said about how India has behaved. We're one of the few countries which have carried out anti-piracy operations this side of Red Sea, along the Horn of Africa. China was there. What did it do? Pakistan to chodo. But China is supposed to be a superpower, na? Everyone talks of it. They've got a bigger navy. They've got 3 aircraft carriers. What did they do? They sat in Djibouti and ate noodles. That's all. So let's not fall for this Chinese propaganda. Is China able to provide security in South China Sea or East China Sea or everything? Does any neighbor of China look up to China for their security? Am I talking nonsense? But India is being recognized and commended for its role by the IMO, International Maritime Organization, Indian Navy. So that's what this man has said. And our capabilities are increasing. And we need to understand, people have to understand, and they're going to come here. This is what our Vice Chief, Sanjay Vatsayan, has to say. Look at the capability development which is happening.
जहां तक कि कैपेबिलिटी का सवाल है, जैसे कि मैंने पिछली बार भी बताया था, 52 जहाज जो हैं अभी इंडिया में निर्मित हो रहे हैं इंडियन शिपयार्ड्स में, जिनका ऑर्डर हो चुका है और कॉन्ट्रैक्टेड है, और इनकी डिलीवरी ऑलरेडी अगले 2-3 सालों में
52 vessels of the Indian Navy are on order and being built in our shipyards, and they will be in the next 3 to 4 years kitted, and they'll be, it's a huge jump. And listen to what else he says.
हो जाएगी। अगले इस साल अभी 4 और जहाज हमें उम्मीद है कि 4 और जहाज दिसंबर से पहले डिलीवर हो जाएंगे। 19 शिप्स अगले साल में और 13 या 14 उससे अगले साल।
Just think, 4 ships this year, 19 ships next year, and 13-14 ships next year, and this will be a rolling plan. Well, China might have the largest navy. I am not bothered. With the navy you have, you're already doing so much. With all this capability enhancement, where will we be? China has a bigger army, but we match it head to head and toe to toe in the Himalayas. China might have a bigger navy, but we will match it ship to ship in the Indian Ocean region. That is something which you have to understand. And you match it on your backyard. He has to come 5,000 kilometers away and fight you here. And he can't.
तो अप्रोक्सीमेट 1 और 2 प्लस माइनस रहेगा, बट हमारे हिसाब से ये दिस इज आवर एंटिसिपेटेड हमारा जो इंडक्शन है। इसके अलावा 69 जहाजों का ऑर्डर और 6 सबमरीन का एओएन हमें मिल चुका है, ऑर्डर नहीं एओएन मिल चुका है, और इनके कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स भी हम होपफुली अगले 1-1.5 साल में कंक्लूड करेंगे।
So there is a capability enhancement which is ongoing and happening. Yeah, we'll do it at our pace, based on our finances, based on our necessity. Why should we compete with others? Despite all what we say, has China made an appearance here? No. Even US cannot, operate freely in the Indian Ocean region without India. And this is, I've been told by Japanese and Australians. Okay? And look at it. Look, this man is, I keep showing this. This is a video which everyone must see. In this, he brings out the comparison between India and China in the future. And the future is ours.
And quite late in the process, the Indians decided that they did not want to participate in this. And therefore, we now have, ASEAN plus Northeast Asia plus Australasia. I think it's a useful grouping to have. I hope one day the Indians will be ready to participate. Certainly, if they're going to grow and on projections one day, they will catch up with the Chinese, maybe even overtake them, but because they have a much younger population and the Chinese population is already declining. But I think
maybe they'll one day catch up with the Chinese and overtake them because the Chinese population is declining and the Indian population is much younger, says Singapore PM Loong, Hsien Loong. Prophetic. He's a Chinese. He's a person of Chinese origin. And Singapore is 70% Chinese. They have excellent relations with Chinese, and this he says this in Chatham House in Delhi. Not Delhi, in London. I keep showing this because this is where India is going. That's how India is changing. It's not a matter of what John Spencer said about India changing its doctrine and action and military and all that. There's something called the economy which is changing along with this whole story. Right? And today, our Prime Minister is in Johannesburg for the G20 meet. He meets the Australian President Albanese, and this is a tweet which Albanese puts out. He says, in Australia and India are great friends and partners. From trade, defense, security related to education and clean energy, our relationship is fundamentally important. Fundamentally important. Wonderful to catch up with my friend Prime Minister Modi ahead of the G20 summit. I've taken two cases today, Australia and Afghanistan, to analyze and substantiate what I've been saying that India is changing. Let's talk of that. This is Penny Wong, who's the Defense External Affairs Minister of Australia. Listen to what she says.
I really appreciate you welcoming me and my delegation here, and thank you for hosting us in India for the 16th Framework Dialogue. It gives me very great pleasure to see you too, personally. And
so this is the 16th Framework Dialogue that Australian has had with India. That's the first part. Okay.
Yeah. Like you, I place a great deal of importance on our relationship, our personal relationship. They tell me this is our 26th meeting, which means you still are the person I've met most in this job. And, you know, I think that our relationship has only grown to the benefit of our two countries. Our two nations have never been closer, and in many ways our partnership never more consequential. And if I may, it's a mark of how close we are that we've turned up despite the fact you've beaten us in both the women's and the men's cricket. On a more serious note, picking up where you ended, we see this partnership as critical and weighty in its own terms bilaterally, but as also as crucial for the region. You are a leading power.
Look at what she said. This is our 26th meeting. It's the maximum I've attended with any country. That's the first. And they're talking of that India-Australia partnership is critical for the region. And bilaterally. Main points. Now, why haven't I spoken of Australia? The way the Australian Prime Minister has spoken to our Prime Minister, has tweeted about our Prime Minister, and this. Australia was antagonistic to India prior to COVID. 2019. You'll see India-Australia equation. It was antagonistic. Australia was more on the side of China. They felt India was outdated. Except cricket, we had no relations. In 4 years, see the turnaround. It doesn't happen overnight. Why is it happening? India is changing. What John Spencer spoke eloquently on those terms, you see the demonstration of this happening here on the ground. Right? Look at this. This article in Independent, Pakistan. See the heading. It says from idol breakers to deal makers, Afghanistan's historic reversal. And this article is a very interesting article. You guys must read it. He talks of how Afghanistan, invaded India, right from Ghori and Ghazni days, and the dynasties, the Afghan dynasties which ruled Delhi, in Delhi Sultanate, the Khilji dynasty, this, that, yeah, whoa, all from Afghanistan. They ransacked India, they ruled India, yeah, whoa, all that. And he says now the things have changed. Now India and Afghanistan are friends. Idol breakers are seeking deals with the idols of India. ये जो नपुंसक देश है ना बीच में पड़ा है, ना वो अफगान बन सके ना इंडियन बन सके, वो पाकिस्तानी रह गए. They're in between. They're absolutely napunsak. And that's the turnaround. Historically, Afghans were invaders and did whatever they had to with India. Even in the occupation, the American occupation of Afghanistan for 20 years, the Taliban, the Afghans, not the Afghans, the Taliban and the militant lot of them were against us. Today, they can't survive without us. And this is what this man had to say. Listen to this. Who's he? Right? He's the commerce minister of Taliban. Other day, Mutaki came, foreign minister. He went to Devband, Yevo. This man's visit has been low key, but he said something very significant. Right? He speaks in uh, Pushto, right? And there's a translation. Just listen to it, and we'll get to it.
And their team and their authorities that they have been providing and they have provided so far to us. And definitely it will play a positive role in the relations that we have since long time with India. So, and we will definitely continue this.
در روزهای اول فتوحات امارات اسلامی زمانی که مسئولیت وزارت صنعت و تجارت ما به عهده گرفتیم ما یک ملاقات با مسئولین نماینده های جمهوری هندوستان در مسکو داشتیم و همچنان در کابل بعد ملاقات را داشتیم. افغانها هیچ وقتی هم احسان فراموش نیستند. در اون وقتی که بسیار مشکلات واقع برای مردم ما بودند، مشکلات داشتند، حتی پولی که از افغانها بود آمریکایی ها همه را پیش خود خرید کردند بدن بانک های خود. جمهوری هندوستان 50,000 تن گندم کمک کرده بود و اعلان کرد که ما 50,000 تن گندم اگر هم به افغانها کمک بگیریم و به دوسترین فرصت این پروسه خلاص شد به افغانها کمک کرد و حقیقتا که یک کمک برادرانه و یک کمک بود که مردم افغانستان
When I started as being the Minister of Industry and Commerce in Afghanistan, and at the initial stage, I had the opportunity to meet the Indian colleagues, Indian friends in the meeting of Moscow, and then and a follow-up meetings with them in different platforms. So it was really a tough time, but we noted that, however, our 9.3 billion dollar it was frozen by USA. But at that tough time, we noted that Indian government they provided full support in terms of wage transporting from India directly to Afghanistan. And it showed their brotherhood, and it showed their respect, and it showed their love to Afghan people.
See what he says. He says everyone froze our money. We didn't get anything. It was at that time India gave us wheat. No one else gave. Naturally, loyalties have shifted. There is no doubt. I have no doubts in my mind that Afghan loyalties have shifted away from Pakistan. Because people respond to, good deeds. Right? Pakistan only had bad deeds and bad intentions on Afghanistan, and they're getting it back. And that is why today they have to write idol breakers have become idol worshippers. I've taken this, examples of Australia and Afghanistan, the change. India has changed. India has become a provider, not a receiver. That's the change. Has the world woken up to it? That is my question. Look at the change in Bangladesh. Look at this map we put up. It's now more that, okay, Bangladesh, we don't know what to do here. We're taking proactive action. And I'm going to discuss Bangladesh in detail. I don't call it Bangladesh anymore. It is East Pakistan 1.5. And we'll talk of it. I said today morning also I spoke. Maybe by tomorrow night I'll speak of the political history of Bangladesh. We put 3 new army camps at Kishanganj, Chopra, and in Dubri. Why? We are beefing up the border. If things don't come in hand, we'll do more. We'll wait. We'll do what we have to do with Bangladesh, no matter what anyone says. No matter what anyone. People say, oh, we are not doing anything against Bangladesh. अभी तक कहानी शुरू हुआ है, ट्रेलर अभी शुरू हुआ है. आगे देखते जाओ. पाकिस्तान के साथ भी ट्रेलर अभी शुरू हुआ है, आगे देखते जाइए. Right? That's something which you have to understand. And this is what one of our chief ministers said. Bangladesh has its own chicken neck. We can cut it off. And it's not only in that sphere. Look at this. This article came out today. It says Lloyd's list intelligence sets up GCC in Chennai. A global capability center for Lloyd's intelligence is being set up in Chennai. The world is changing. If this is not change, what is? That's why there's a lot of investment will automatically come in. Why will someone establish a global capability center that too like Lloyd's intelligence? See the change which is happening. Feel the pulse. We have drawn in a line in sand. We have already done that. We did it in 2020 against China. 2025 we have done it against USA. Remember that. We have changed. World needs to understand we have done this. We have a proud history of standing on our own. Doesn't matter what happens, we'll do that. 2020, when they came to Eastern Ladakh, we stood up. 25, we have told Trump, take a walk. We should know very clearly there are two nations in this world who don't want us to rise, and that is China and USA. On that, I have not had a doubt. I keep repeating this. They will do anything in their power to ensure that we are kept down. But as far as US and China are concerned, I'm very clear. They can't do anything beyond a point. And that also will be very low. They're big economies, but they're sluggish. They are losing influence through trust deficit. They have internal political and military problems. Every day you see it in newspapers. The rest of the world is seeking to reduce dependency on USA and China, when the rest of the world is trying to increase dependency on India. That's why I said India is changing. The world needs to catch up. Both US and China today want responsibility. In fact, they want influence, but not responsibility. India is taking on the responsibility. India has taken on the responsibility in the IOR, Afghanistan, and wherever. That's the change which is happening. Are we a superpower? No, we are not. But we are a proud power on our own standing. That change has happened. We don't seek anyone's approval anymore. Age and time are on our side, not on theirs. This is the average age of countries, of the top 20 economies. I keep showing this very powerful graph. Top 20 economies, median age. India is the lowest at 29.5. China is here at 40, 39.5. And in another 5 years, we'll move up here. 45. China is declining. Don't make a mistake in thinking anything else. These are the countries which I keep showing this wheel, which are looking at some kind of a deal with us. And this wheel is increasing. We are born to change. I can't resist it because I have to show what my guns are doing in high altitude as a gunner. I've done for the day. If you like this video, like it. If, do subscribe to Gunner Shot, press the bell icon, and also join me as members. And I'll now take on questions. Remember, before I start the questions, India is changing. The world needs to catch up. Not what I say, it's what others are saying. Take heed of what others are saying. Thank you. Do you feel nostalgic when you see such videos? Of course I do. I feel so proud. These are the areas where I couldn't take guns. I had to walk. Yeah. Let me take some questions. And Sham Tarun, thanks for your super sticker. And Sanjeev, thanks a lot for joining in as a member. Honored. Right. Akash, Jai Hind, Vishwanathan, Namaskaram. Jeet, thanks a lot for joining. My deepest condolences to the family and community of the pilot. Thank you for the presentation and analysis. Welcome. It's not that we lost our jet, we lost one of our best soldiers. We mourn the man, not the machine. I completely agree with you. Neil, Jai Hind, Vasu Ayangar, good morning, sir. Several F-16s have also crashed. That's fine. That's part of the deal. I'm not going to analyze that. I am not going to regret it. Condolences to the brave heart and family. I agree with you. Ladybird Haru, good evening, and fellow viewers. Bharat should have a sharp and intense focus on internal security. Yep. Should NRC be implemented? I think so. It's high time to do so. Yeah, good evening, Shankarji. One of my favorite strategic analysis. I watch a lot of other analyst channels. A lot of them seem to have only one-sided view. This is the most rational. That's why I say join in. I'll give you a 360 degrees view, and I get people who have the capability of looking from the other side. That's the important thing. We shouldn't be blind in what we are doing. Join in. Request more join in. We are on our own, and Pak and China, US, whomsoever we act on as per our interest. Yes. Yeah. Is how global General G's podcast is how global strategic minds work on their policies. Great insights. Thanks a lot. Ingeborg Malik, respected General Saab. Namaskaram from Germany. With its homegrown problems, India better follow 10th Guru teaching. Dev Shiva Bar Mohe Shubh Kaman. Yeah, Karman se Kabhi na daro. Yeah, there's no doubt. A recent BBC investigation revealed that Pakistan has become a global hub for AI stuff. Forget Pakistan, yaar, usko saat maro. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to compare what has happened. It has happened. Don't worry. We'll do everything well. Yeah. De Shiva Bar Mohe Shubh Karman se Kabona Daro against Mughal Aurangzeb and Mullah Munir. I agree with you. Gautam, Jai Hind. Kanglu, also Ganga Water Treaty, time to say Tata, bye bye. Yeah, we'll do it. Don't worry. Aftab Sindur, we might have found some of our weaknesses. Are you already working on filling these weaknesses? Are there any such things in public domain that you can share? No, I won't. Why should I tell my weakness in public domain? Yeah, our weakness is really strategic communication, which I talk of. That is something which we have to do. There's no doubt on that. What is the reason for our country losing military gains on a negotiating table? That also is an event of the past. Don't worry. That's gone now. That's also gone. See what's happened with China. We are doing the right thing. Don't worry about it. Look, I'm going to talk of whether China can go to war. We've spoken of it already. But we'll talk tomorrow. You'll see where China is. Don't worry. Yeah, General Shankar, I do not see the narrative given by you on TV, but I think your narrative should be on TV. Why are they only warning America and very seldom China? I'm not American apologist, by the way. I agree with you. And I'm not interested whether it should be on TV or not. I should do what I'm supposed to do. When TV people want to see, TV people are driven by their commercial interests. So, well, that's it, the way it is. I believe in doing what I feel is right. During the Kargil war, US refused to share GPS maps with us. In Op Sindoor, was there any similar area? No, we're not. That is also gone. Okay. Thoroughly enjoyed the podcast. To be kind, maybe both Paki and China understand the new reality facing them in the aftermath of Op Sindoor. Yet they may be daydreaming in their denial. Yeah, that's normal. Expect it. Are we not in a perpetual fight with Pakistan since 1947? Yes, of course. There's no doubt. Yeah, we need to have ministers at state and central levels with as shared subject along with de-radical ethics minister. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Let me see. It seems to me that Air Marshal AP Singh doesn't like theatre command that much. Well, that's a debate which will go on. We'll handle it. सर, आप हमेशा सही बात करते हैं. मैं रोज आपको सुनता हूं, मगर समय ना होते हैं. सॉरी. तो डोंट वरी. आप कभी भी सुन लीजिए जब टाइम मिलता है. हमें ये नहीं है कि इतने आने हैं, नहीं आने हैं. आप अपना टाइम में सुनिए, क्योंकि जो मैं बात करता हूँ थोड़ा गहरी बात करता हूँ. आपको ये जो भी मैं बात करता हूँ उसको सोचिए, समझिए और उसके बाद सोच से विचार कीजिए. खुद अंदरूनी सोच विचार इज इम्पोर्टेंट. या I don't understand in what way India is changing. If you've not understood, don't worry. Carry on. Okay. I know Afghanistan did many wrongs with us, but nowadays, if our vloggers ask them about the past, they say we did very wrong. Think we should not. Yeah, that's at least they're admitting. That's a good part. Okay. India has millions of self-employed people. Yeah, we know that. Don't worry. Look, don't argue with people who are. For all you know, Shubham might not be completely Indian. I don't know who he is. So don't worry. Yeah, nobody explains better than yourself, sir. The hard work, dedication, work ethics, and being IIT professor still contributing to our country's progress is commendable. Our next gen should learn and implement. I hope so. I have to give the torch to the next generation. Okay, let me see. Any further questions? Yeah, any further questions? Yeah. What is the speed of Pinaka to Mac? Sir, do you think law and order of all states bordering Pakistan and China should be given to the Defense Ministry or the Home Ministry so that it can be coordinated to stop infiltration? I don't think we should do that. The states, you see, we have a constitution, we are a democracy, the states are responsible, the state government should act. We can coordinate, but we shouldn't take over. That will undermine the states. It's not there in our constitution. Law and order is a state subject. So let it be so. At my age, 66, I'm a student and listen to your channel with eager. More youngsters should follow your channel so that they should know the history and geoeconomically and geostrategic issues. Salute. Thanks a lot, sir. Yeah, thanks a lot. It was fascinating to hear. Thank you. Don't you think it's good that every major power and one Bikari is against us? That means we are worth challenging and us. We are on the right track. There's no doubt. Everyone talks of it. Look, there are a lot of things which are wrong with our country, but there are a lot of things which are going right also. That's something which all of us have to understand. Okay. Should we do much on Air Force after Air India? And yeah, we have to. It's an ongoing thing. Accidents happen. We're not perfect. Do you think Jaishankar's outspoken stance has affected our economy in any way? No, he can't. Wonderful presentation, sir, with a Star War effect and octopus geopolitical analysis. Thank you. Yeah, long live Afghanistan India friendship. Yep. Sir, West business lobbies are driving so much of geopolitics that they may always have been doing this, but with all humans, they make mistakes and their decisions have consequences. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. And I say thanks for your in-depth research and hard work and insight. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I don't see any military and academic think tanks fasting them and feasting them in the. They are the most consequential to the world. No, we know how to deal. We have come of age on many issues. What they have to say. We have to accept the fact reality both are nuclear nations, and if Pakistan's to expand, it has to expand in Afghanistan. Not, yeah, we know all that. Don't worry, we'll handle it. I don't see any think tanks factoring them into their equations. Yeah, it's a view, but maybe people are. Yeah, one of the best podcasts on YouTube, full of perspectives we don't get anywhere, and this includes you and all the stellar guests you invite. Thank you. The whole idea is to get a different view, get a positive view, what's happening in our country and where we are going. We can always say what's not happening in our country. We should also know what's happening in our country. Do you think it was right to agree to ceasefire in Op Sindoor? Wasn't that our big chance to bring Pak army to its knees? Well, it's debatable. You heard what the Air Marshal said, Air Chief Marshal. He's got a point. Maybe he could have continued it for 24 hours more, but who knows what happens in war? It's all we don't know. So we leave it at that. With due respect, कब तक पाकिस्तान का परमानेंट डील हो जाएगा? Let us see. These things are all you can't predict. ये ज्योतिष नहीं है. You have to be patient. Strategic patience is required. Strategic restraint is over, but strategic patience is not over. Okay. So thank you. Thanks for all of you who joined in today. Join me tomorrow. We'll talk of China versus China. How China has killed itself or it's killing itself. Why China is its worst enemy. We'll discuss this. And we'll discuss it in the context of India. Till then, have a great day. We'll join in tomorrow morning again. Bye. Good night and Jai Hind.